So first things first, what's it been like being in the NFL so far?
NFL is fun, it's very different, it's very time consuming. It's a job now, you have to take it serious and you have to go out there and grind, each and every day.
What's the biggest difference so far, you think, between college and the NFL?
I think the biggest difference is probably the speed of the game. I played at Oregon, I'm used to playing fast, but the guys here are much faster, much stronger, and much smarter, so it all comes in accountability, when it comes that Sunday, you have to be on your cues and be ready to go.
Obviously, you get drafted in the second round, and then you go through a couple preseason games, and then since the start of the season, been inactive in those games. What's sort of been the frustration level for you? I know you're a competitor and you're a guy that wants to be out on the field. What's it been like having to watch on Sundays?
I think, anytime a player is competitive, especially, as I am, you want to go out there and you want to compete and help the team win. Nobody wants to sit on the sideline, but it's a lot to learn. It's a big-time business, you're in the NFL, playing with some of the best, and, I might not be ready to go out there and play, and be successful like I would like to be at, just like freshman year in college, I wasn't ready yet. So I'm just learning, and just keep working hard, each and every day, and hopefully I can get on that field and show the coaches, what I can do.
You think maybe it's a blessing in disguise then, that you get a chance to see it from a different perspective than just being thrown right out in the gauntlet?
It definitely is a blessing, especially for me, coming from Oregon, being in a whole different offense and having a whole different scheme, it's good for me, just to watch and sit back and learn from a great player like Frank Gore and just watching Brandon Jacobs work each and every day. It's really good for me, just to learn. You
guys have a lot of guys in the backfield in this team. What's one thing maybe from Frank Gore or Brandon Jacobs or Kendall Hunter, what's one thing that you've learned that maybe you didn't expect to learn at this point from some of those guys?
Oh, just practice hard, work hard, and especially talking to Frank, he always tells me to be patient. It's like, you're a great player, just rest and rest your body. You don't want to take too many hits, already. You want to have a long career, and I just watch him, each and every day, and he always keep my head up and just tell me to keep learning. And he helps me out, in everything I need, on the field, off the field, no matter what it is. It's like a big brother figure to me.
So I assume you get to spend a lot of time on the scout team in practice. What's it like going against that vaunted 49er offense, a guy like Patrick Willis out there?
It really is fun. I remember freshman year I was going against like Pat Chung and Walter Thurman and those guys at Oregon. It's like the same thing now. These times I'm going against a Navarro Bowman and a Deshaun Golston and Pat Willis. It's only making me better. And that's the way I look at it. I feel like if I can make a move on those guys, then I can on anybody. And I give them my all. They push me, they encourage me, and it's really fun.
How much are those guys asking about what it was like playing at Oregon? What's it like playing for Chip Kelly? I mean, it's such a different system than not even just in the NFL, but in anything else you really see in college. How much are those guys asking about what it was like?
They always ask me. I think everybody wants to know, like, how do we do it? They see the points after the games, and they're like, how did you score that many points? I think it's like, how do you do it? Even Pat asked me, he's my locker mate, so he's always asking me, like, it's impossible to score that many points. I just tell him, it's evident, you look at it, the offense is fun, and some of the guys on offense always ask me, like, what was it like playing for Coach Kelly? What was it like playing that offense? Was it hard? And then Pat tells me, he thinks it'd be hard to scheme, and I think so too.
Playing for Jim Harbaugh, a guy you used to play against in college, what's sort of the differences and similarities between playing for Chip Kelly and playing for Jim Harbaugh?
I think they're pretty similar. Coach Kelly's hands-on, Coach Harbaugh's hands-on, both offensive-minded, very intense guys, both very funny guys. They have a lot of similarities, and a lot of differences too. Coach Kelly's fun, he's fun. I really don't call out too many differences, but they're both great coaches and they're both very intense.
How much do you get to watch Oregon play on Saturdays?
I try to watch them as much as I can. We're always in the hotel, so college football's on, we watch them play. And have everybody, for the 49ers watching Oregon, everybody's becoming a fan.
Is there a lot of trash talking going on? You really want to see, obviously you want to see the Ducks go to a national championship game this year, but against some of those other guys that you're teammates with now that played elsewhere, is there a lot of trash talking going on?
It's trash talking, every day in the locker room, all the time, It's fun though, it's competitive. A lot of guys didn't think Oregon could beat USC, they saw that score, and it really is fun. We have guys from different Pac-10 or Pac-12, schools now, and they like to talk a lot of smack, even though they know what's going to happen, but they still do it. They're loyal to their schools, just like I am.
You seem like a guy when you left last year. You were ready to move on and do the next thing and accomplish a goal of yours to play in the NFL. Is there a part of you that misses college and misses playing at Oregon?
Oh yeah, 100% yes. Sometimes I think about it, each and every day. I wish I was there with those guys, especially Kenyon, my best friend and my running backs coach, who I'm very close with. And, I like playing in Coach Kelly's offense. It's fun. Never was bored and loved going to practice with those guys. I still miss them, and the fans in the community in Eugene, Oregon, it's nothing but love there.
You mentioned Kenyon. How much do you talk to him on a regular basis? I mean, is it daily? Is it once a week? How much is it?
I talk to him every day. I just tell him, take care of yourself, take care of your body, and he's blessed. He's living his dream. He's becoming a star. And I've always thought that of him. I've seen it every day in practice. How good he was. I often tell people, I was so good at Oregon because I knew that Kenyon could take my spot. Each and every day. He's a great player.
How rewarding is it for you to see this now? To see, I mean, you knew all along that Kenyon was there. You just said it, that Kenyon was there right behind you. How rewarding is it to kind of sit back and be able to watch sort of all the fruits of his labor come to fruition now?
It's fun, it's like he's just growing, it's just getting better, each and every game, finally the spotlight, and he's getting the credit that, that he deserves, for what he worked for, and off season, and just doing everything that he can do, to be the best player that he can be, and now it's showing up on the field. You
mentioned after the USC game that you thought he was the best player in the country and that he should be in the talks for the Heisman. Did you get a lot of backlash for that, or anyone saying, what are you talking about, this guy's better, something like that?
No, nobody can really say that. A lot of guys like the quarterback from Kansas State. I respect him, but Kenyon's my best friend. Even if he doesn't win the Heisman, he's still my Heisman. In my eyes, he's going to get my vote, regardless of what the situation is.
How much are you, he actually mentioned the other day that Coach Campbell had reached out to you at one point. He mentioned the Washington State game being sort of a turning point for him, because in that first half, Gary Campbell challenged him a little bit, didn't think he was breaking enough tackles, didn't think he was running hard enough. And Kenyon said that Coach Campbell reached out to you and said, how can I get under his skin? What can I do? And that's when you told him to, I don't know if you told him to call him soft, but Kenyon took it as Coach Campbell was calling him soft, and since then his numbers have been off the charts. Did Coach Campbell reach out to you? What did he say?
Oh yeah, me and Coach Campbell are close. He knows that me and Kenyon are close, and I know him better than anybody. I know how to get in his head. Now Coach Cam knows how to get in his head, and I think, after that game he changed. He started running more aggressive. He started running harder. He started breaking more tackles. He's looking more like a complete back. And he's showing up. I challenge him every week. I'm gonna talk smack to him here in a little bit and get him going. He's a great player. And he's only gonna get better.
Now the Ducks are playing Cal this week. A couple years ago, when you guys made this trip to Cal, it was a game kind of similar to this one in the sense that you guys were on the way up and looking to get to the national championship game, and Cal was having a bit of a down year. Everyone kind of expected it to be a blowout. You guys get out of there with a 15-13 win. What do you remember about that game?
Defensive game. They had a great defensive game plan for us, and they had the athletes to do it. And I think that they just came out and they were ready to play. It was a hard-fought game. You're going to have games like that sometimes, and we had to climb over that mountain, and it was tough. And I just remember it, like it was yesterday. It was just hard-fought game, But looking at this game this year, I don't know if they have those same players that they did, that year, and it might be a little difficult for them.
What's the biggest difference you think about this Oregon team from what you've seen versus what you played with than anything you've seen in the past? I mean, obviously the one thing that wasn't there, or that wasn't playing, was Marcus Mariota. Is he that big of a difference for this team compared to teams past?
I think Marcus is the key. He's a great player. Without Marcus, I don't know how far they would probably go. I'm very confident in Brian Bennett too. I can't say enough about him. He's a great quarterback. But Marcus, he's on the field right now, so he's a great quarterback. I've seen it too. I just kept telling people, he's gonna be good. Once he finally gets that shot, he's gonna go out there and he's gonna compete, and he's gonna make all the right decisions. He's gonna make all the right reads, and that's what he's doing. He's keeping defenses aware of his feet, and his arm, and giving the ball to Kenyon. So it's not one-dimensional. They have so many players, and he's making all the right decisions, for a freshman quarterback.
So much is made of the mantra, win the day, taking one game at a time, every game the Super Bowl, and Chip Kelly's really seemed to instill that in all of his players. Not only that, but not talking about injuries and things like that. It's very tight-lipped. Now that you're away from that, you know, it seems like on social media every once in a while too. During the Washington game, you had that tweet about the Huskies with their tails. You get to be a little more open now than maybe you were at Oregon. What is that like?
It's fun, you know. I'm a fan, and that's what I am. You know, I'm no different from anybody else watching Oregon football games. You know, I'm an alumni. You know, I'm always going to cheer for my Ducks, and that's what I'm doing. You know, I just like to have fun. You know, I really was talking smack to our safety who went to Washington, and I didn't tag him. And then all of a sudden I'm on ESPN, but I don't care. You know, I'm a fan. I love my school, and I'm always going to support them. You know, but if I was at the University of Oregon, you know, I didn't even have a Twitter. You know, I was just like Coach Kelly, very tight-lipped. You know, I was all about the team, and didn't really say too much. You know, I just went out there and played. But you know, now that I'm not, you know, a part of that team, you know, I'm a fan, and you know, I hope everybody can see that. And I'm going to tweet about Oregon, and I'm going to do whatever I want to do. You know, just because I'm a fan.
How difficult was it when you were playing there, though, not to, I mean, I know you mentioned you didn't have a Twitter, but how difficult was it not to, you know, every once in a while want to say something, you know, have a little smack talk that could be perceived in the public eye as something that you'd blow up and make a big deal?
You know, when I was there, you know, I really never really thought about saying anything. You know, I just had that kind of swagger. You know, I knew we were going to go out there and we can compete, and we could score on anybody. You know, you really didn't have to say anything when you're scoring 50 points a game. You know, it's kind of speak for itself. So it's like, I don't have to say nothing. You know, just go out there and play, and my play, you know, speak for itself.
All right, actually one thing, since it is Cal, we were talking about the game, you have a prediction. You said you're a fan now, so what's your prediction for Cal and Oregon Saturday night?
My prediction score is, I'm going to go with 53-17.
53-17.
Yeah.
We're going to hold it to you.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, LaMichael.